Hey, can I ask you a quick favor? If you enjoy thought provoking conversations like this one, please leave a quick review and hit subscribe on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you're listening or watching. It really helps. I talk with world champions, artists, best selling authors, rock stars, and CEOs to uncover what makes fascinating people tick. If something in this episode resonates with you, please share it with a friend and also check out my work at jalders.com. You can follow me on socials at jalders, and you can follow the show Shifting Perceptions podcast on all socials as well. Let's get into it. Hey, Whitney, I'm so happy to have you on today. I've been looking forward to our chat. I've been checking out your videos. You have such a great personality. I love the material you bring to your audience. And so, first of all, thanks for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be on here.
I want to dive in first to kind of keep it light, but I also really want to know. I'm really curious. You seem like quite a firecracker on your YouTube channel. You have a lot of like really cool opinions and different strategies. And right before we went on, you were saying how you're so unlikely that you would be doing something like this. I want to hear what little kid Whitney was like.
Oh my gosh, little kid Whitney was something else. I was like the class clown.
Okay.
I had a group of friends where we would just always get in trouble. I was always in the hallway. Um, I don't know. I just like to have fun. Like I just enjoy laughing and having a good time. I don't like to take things serious. So little kid Whitney was a mess. So thinking about how I was back then, though, I'm still like that person. I had a lot of leadership skills thinking about how I was back then too. And so seeing how I am now, which I never thought in a million years I'd be an entrepreneur. Cause like who wants to do that? It's too much work. But and now I am one. So it's just funny to seeing how I was as a kid. I saw those leadership skills to me now looking back. And now I'm my own leader, running the whole business now. So
It's so interesting, like, hearing people's, like, backstory a little bit. I was at my, son's jujitsu class yesterday, and I was talking to a friend of ours who has a kid in the class, and I'm going on a slight tangent, but it's totally related, I promise. And she was just talking about how her and her husband would love to have their own business and leave their jobs. So, like, they're gonna love this episode. But there's so many people like that, that think in their own head, their own dialogue is more like, "That's not me. That's cool. You can do that. I love watching this Whitney girl. She's so cool, but that's not me. Hell no." So I think I have a feeling you're gonna kind of break people out of that mindset.
oh my gosh, I'm ready. I'm so ready because I literally am like, I always say, if Whitney can do this, anybody can. I am honestly, I don't like to call myself dumb or anything. Like, if I can do this, anybody can do this. The only thing I do different from other people is I just do a little research before I go ahead and do it.
Right.
So that's the only thing that I feel like that separates me. And research is something anyone can do. And when I say research, I'm not even talking about anything that in depth. It's just Google searches, going to other YouTube channels and looking at this stuff. I'm just willing to take the time to do a little bit of research before I actually go ahead and do something so I'm not wasting my time or anybody else's.
So before we get too deep into it, we should probably say that for anyone listening, Whitney knows what she's talking about. You have, I believe, I looked, and I think you have 167,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Oh, is it that many now? I thought it was
We're not right.
147,000.
I could be going from I'm going from memories. I could be off by a couple.
You can get me there if you want. I don't mind at all.
Let's say you have a lot.
It's 147 right now.
147. Okay, my not
A
by
little bit over
numbers.
that, but you know.
Close enough. It's still
Yeah.
an impressive amount. So, people listening, it's not just like I pulled in a random person that has no one listening to her. So, before we started talking, you were saying how, your daughter's up at your daughter right now, your son?
Yeah.
Your daughter's sick upstairs. I've definitely been in that situation. And I feel like bringing that up is important because a lot of people, they're afraid to leave their real jobs. They have this cushy feeling of security and stability. But the idea that you and I and people like us can
Yeah.
work at home from our living room, our kitchen, our basement, and can have kids running around upstairs, can have sometimes my kids will come downstairs and like hide by the desk and they don't think I see them. But to have a lifestyle designed that way, and it is definitely an intentional design. And I want you
Exactly.
to kind of talk about that a little bit, um, both the good and the bad, because being
Yeah.
a mom and an entrepreneur, I am sure that you share the similar thing that I have, where it's like you have this internal monologue going on in your head of all the great reasons and all the reasons you should feel blessed, but then also like, hey, it's so hard to be present right now. I'm with my kids at dinner, but oh my God, I can't get my head out of this thing going on with my website or this marketing thing or my next video idea. Can you talk about the good and the bad?
Yeah, so the good is definitely the flexibility, being able to go there. Kids have school needs volunteers, I'll volunteer, I'm available. So that's the one good thing. I have no one I don't have to ask my boss, "Is it okay if I go to my daughter's field trip?" I don't have to ask anyone. So that's the good, and the fact that I can work on my own schedule. So if had to do something later, I'll do it later. It's just literally my own schedule. And the cons, though, we can talk about the cons for sure. It's that, like, my business is also my baby. So I treat it as my own child, so I give it its time and attention, so I have to be able to learn how to turn it off, Whitney, and be mom when I need to be mom, and so it's just that's a struggle for me, and one thing that I did learn is that I had to have structure. So when I'm up in the morning and that's my work time, that's my work time, but then when I gotta be mom, I gotta be mom, like, I can't get mad at my kids for asking me for juice because 'cause I'm in the zone, working on something, like, "What? You want some juice?" Like, so I have to I this is continuous though. This is not an easy thing. I don't like when people make it seem like you gotta have the best of both worlds, work from home with your kids and make money. Like, yes, that is the best of both worlds, but that world does come with its challenges. So, yeah, it's a challenge to be able to turn this off. And because like I love what I do now,
Mhm.
it's just hard to just want to like stop and then have to go back and just be mom. So it's a back and forth thing I have to go and then I also have to remember, like, I wouldn't even have a business if it wasn't for my kids. So, there's the reasons why I quit my job, so I could make money. So, it's like putting myself back into, like, order to be like, don't forget why you did what you did." So, it's like a constant battle, though, and it's real, though.
I feel like for me and a lot of people I know in this similar blessing and curse of being an entrepreneur, there's like the carrot and the stick, right? Like
Yeah.
there's some version of something that you are like running full speed towards. You're like, get me there. And then it's funny because then you get there, and then you're like, "No, that's not good enough. I actually meant
Oh,
there."
no.
But then it's like you also, for me, it's like I have this thing behind me that I'm like running away from, like, oh my God, it's gonna get me. And you're like trying to like never go back to that thing.
Yeah.
What's your carrot and what's your stick look like?
My carrot is I just always I wanna just keep like, doing something different. Like, the whole shining spoon syndrome thing is real for me too, and I always wanna have something that, I just like, "Oh, that sounds cool. I can do that too." And, like, I can't stop. Like, I keep saying I want this unhurried life where I'm just, like, calm, slow mornings and all this, but it's me. I keep wanting something more. It just never stops. But the what I don't wanna ever go back to is my job.
Mm,
So that's also the thing that's also always pushing me to, like, don't stay too stagnant, like, don't get too comfortable
mhm.
because you don't wanna go back there. And yes, the what I'm doing is nice and it's passive income, but it's still active in semi-active, so I have to still keep doing stuff. So, it's just it's a yeah, that's my carrot and stick.
It's funny, and then there's the days where you're like, "Oh my god, I'm not working enough." And then there's the days where, you feel like having a 9 to 5 would, like, feel like a vacation. Did you catch me? I'll say it again.
Yeah, might have to open the door for my son.
Mom mode, I like it. It's all good. I was just saying it's funny. It's like, we work some days are hard, some days are you're chill, and you give yourself a guilt trip for not working enough, and then
Uh-huh.
some days I feel like, having a 9 to 5 would kinda feel like a vacation at this point.
Yeah, it's nothing like having just a steady paycheck where you don't have to really worry about, like, I gotta do something so I can make sure that we gotta still me make hitting our quota or whatever I put for my own self. But yeah, it's just yeah, sometimes it's like it would be easier, but then it's just like, no, it wouldn't, because I stuck. I'm like a slave. And so I got free already. Why would I go back to that? So it's just it's something that I feel like I never thought I wanted until I had it. So now that I had a taste of freedom, it's like I can't go back.
Can you talk to me about as much as you're comfortable, at least, and do you need to deal with your daughter for a second? I see you kinda looking over.
My son just came in, they had a half day, so and that's another thing. How do parents do this who work? Like, my son had a half day. I was working a 9 to 5, I would have to schedule it to make sure somebody can be there to pick him up or I have to talk to my it's just like, I think about what I used to have to go through when I was working my 9 to 5 and that I don't do it now is just kinda like, I just don't even know how I'm return I feel like I'm just out of touch. I don't know how they do it anymore.
It really is remarkable, and it makes you realize how, how often people go absolutely nuts, or they kind of lose their minds, or they just are just life beats them up.
Yeah.
My brother, my sister-in-law, they both manage Starbucks locations, and they're like up at like 3 or 4 in the morning. And then my brother has a second job. He's working until like from 4 in the morning until like 9 at night. And I'm just like, dude, I don't know how you do it. Like for me, I would be like looking for any escape route possible. But so many people just feel like there's no other option.
Yeah, and that's the thing. They don't know there are other options, or they don't believe that they could do it, and I think that's the biggest thing, 'cause there's so many options out there, but I think people don't believe that that could be them, and so they stay stuck.
So let's get into the weeds a little bit. I'm curious, as much as you're comfortable talking about it,
Yeah.
what percentage, if we had like a pie chart of your income now working for yourself, is coming from, passive income via affiliate marketing? What portion is coming from
Yeah.
teaching people how
So
to do the things? How do you break down
yeah,
income streams?
I would probably say, like, all right, so if I 70% is affiliates, um, 30%, no, that's they'd be 100. So then I was, well, 25% is ad revenue, and then 5% will be, like, sponsorships.
Okay.
And then, like, I have my own product, but that's just, like, I just came out with that, and it's a low ticket offer. But, so that's just new to me. I all these years out of being out of my 9 to 5, I didn't even have my own product. So I started my entrepreneurship journey in 2018, and my first year, I didn't make, like, anything. I only made $5,000 the whole year. And then the second year, I made $200,000, and that was, like, life changing for my family and I. But it was all through just affiliate marketing and ads. So when I saw that that worked, I really didn't need to come up with my own product. I just promote other people's. So that's kind of how I was just always, and I've still up to this day, just been doing what works. And just so I haven't until now, finally, I have my own product that it's just showing other people how I got started, basically. Just giving them the kind of roadmap on how I got started. But I didn't have a story yet. So that's why I didn't have anything to promote either. So that's why it took me so long.
How important do you feel like it is to have a really strong interest or a really strong passion in what you're doing? I ask because, well, because it's an interesting question. But aside from that, I'm thinking about my friend Gabby. She had studied nutrition and she had a Instagram and was putting out content about nutrition and baking and blah blah blah. And then somewhere during the pandemic, she kind of like started putting out funny videos that started catching fire. And she went from like being this nutritional expert to putting out these like goofy, fluffy, funny videos that every other person's doing, but it's like in her version. And now she's like, that's all she's doing. And I'm curious how important it is to number one, have a real true passion for what you're doing versus just like, hey, it's working. Let me do it. And how important it is to be able to pivot.
Yeah, I think this is a great question. So I did something when so I hate like when I first started my blog, I always said I was not a great writer because I just wasn't. It just wasn't my a great skill set of mine. But I wrote because those bloggers wrote, and that's how you have a blog. That's how they made money. So I did it anyway. I did it because I knew it made money. And I had to figure it out. So I did not enjoy writing, but then it also freed me. So I'm big on like it's such a hard thing because now that so anyway, long story short, I didn't follow my passion, I followed what made money, and it made me money, and it allowed me the freedom that I wanted. Like, even to this day, I always say I don't necessarily like doing YouTube videos. I don't like talking in the room with the camera, just me and trying to act all, like, "Hey, guys," like, I'm just like, I'm acting, I'm not being myself. So I don't enjoy that, but that's 30 minutes. That's 30 minutes for the whole week. So can I take 30 minutes out of what I don't wanna do and do it if it's gonna give me the freedom that I want? So then the answer is yes. So I think it's important to do, um like, I love talking about ways to make money and all that stuff. I love the subject matter I'm in. I just don't like doing the work part of it. And I guess you have to ask yourself, is that am I willing to do the work that it would take for my freedom? What do you want more? And so I do think you should be interested. Like I'm interested in the research of all this stuff. So I enjoy that part and learning and sharing and getting the feedback. I do enjoy that part. But there's parts in this process that I do not enjoy, but I do it anyway. So I do think I don't know if I'm answering your question, but I do think um you should have some interest in what you're doing, yes. But all of it is not going to be enjoyable and you need to be okay with that. So I would say it that way.
Hey guys, as someone who prioritizes fitness and well being, I know how valuable it is to have a supplement and training plan that works for your body type and your genetics. We now live in a time where we can optimize our health and nutrition based on our own unique DNA. That's why I'm excited to partner with the DNA company. Their DNA test goes beyond standard genetic testing. They provide custom recommendations for diet, exercise, mental health, and lifestyle. Plus, they offer specialized tests like multi cancer early detection screening, which can identify cancer through a simple blood draw. If you're like me and want to take control of your health, don't miss this opportunity. Use my link, thednacompany.com/jalders to unlock exclusive discounts and special promotions. Discover what your DNA can reveal about your best life. Thednacompany.com/jalders.
Hmm. I appreciate you being vulnerable and honest. That's probably not the smartest thing for for marketing. Like, as I'm sure a lot of people that watch you or
Yeah.
pay attention to what I do or anyone that's putting out content, you have this facade that's you, but not really you, like you just said. And some days you're like, I don't want to be a YouTube person or whatever. Um,
Yeah.
what are have there been some semi-dark moments that you'd be willing to share that got you to the point of I'm over this. I'm out of here. This doesn't work. I'm not happy. Have there been some
No, only because of what I want more. So,
Mm.
yes, there are like, I would wanna quit now, like, I like making money. That's the reason I'm here. So, like, the people that say that you have to be passionate about it, yes, but the only reason I'm doing this is because it's also bringing in money. Like, I'm not gonna do this for free. So, I know people will say, like, "You should do it because you love it." Yeah, you can do that if you want, but I love this because I get to help people, number 1, and I get to make money. So, I need those 2 things to be a part of it. I'm not in a place where I can work for free. So, I just think that, yeah, I don't even know what the question was.
I was just wondering if there's like some dark moments that were kind of
Oh.
behind the scenes where you're like, get me. I think I've definitely had those where I was like,
I've had no, I like, so when I had my blog, because I didn't enjoy writing, I got burned out, and I'm like, "I had to take a break." Like, it was just like, I literally could not come up with, like, sit at a computer anymore and write another thing. I'm like, "I am done." I had wrote an article every week for a whole year and more, and I remember talking to my blogging friends, I'm like, "I can't do this anymore." And I'll never forget, I was talking to this woman at a conference, I was like, I feel like I'm getting burned out. I need to do something else. And she was like, videos where you need to go. And I started crying because I knew it, but I did not want to be on camera. So even to that day, like I didn't even start my YouTube channel after that conversation. I did this. My blog was running on autopilot at the time. So I did take a break because I could. But if I had to keep going though, I would have because like there's nothing that's going to let me go back to my 9 to 5 though. So I would have done it out of just pure just having to do it, I was able to take a little break and then, eventually transition to YouTube, but YouTube is not as bad.
I feel like we should take a slight exit ramp here just to for people listening that maybe are not at all familiar with what we're talking about. Like if I'm saying affiliate marketing and they're like, what is he talking about? Or
Yeah, yeah.
she's making money from doing what? Like how? What? Can you maybe pick some of your larger sources of income or the things that are growing the most virally and maybe explain the concept for anyone listening that's like, I have no clue what she's talking about?
Yeah. Okay, really quick, affiliate marketing for those who don't know, I like to just give this example to bring clarity why this even exists. But so if someone were to say, "Whitney, what kind of camera do you use on your YouTube channel?" Well, instead of me just telling you it's a Canon 90D, I'm not gonna tell you that. I'm gonna go to Amazon, for example, get my unique affiliate link for the camera. So long story short, has an affiliate program that anyone can sign up for. So anything that you buy from Amazon and you wanna share with a friend or somebody else, you can get a unique link. If they click on your link and make a purchase, you earn a commission because you caused them to go to Amazon and motivated them to make a purchase. So I wouldn't tell you about, the camera. I would go to Amazon, get my affiliate link, and I would send it to you and then say, "Oh, here's the camera I use." So I'm not only just helping you not have to search for it yourself, I'm also just giving you direct access to the exact version that I have. So when you make a purchase, I will earn a commission because I am a partner with Amazon. You guys become a partner with Amazon when you start promoting their stuff. And then, so that's why affiliate marketing a lot of times they're talking about affiliate partnerships because you partner with the company. So, for me, what works best for me though is finding out what people are searching for, and specifically on YouTube. I'm very strategic with how I do this because I just don't have time to make videos and not make any money. So I find out what people are searching for on YouTube, and then I answer their questions through my videos by promoting some product or service. So I have examples of like, if you right now if you search for how to make money selling dog treats. I don't have a dog, but my video is going to be the first one that pops up. It's a very helpful video to help you learn how to sell dog treats. But in that video is also, I found out about this woman who was making $4,000 a month selling dog treats, and she had a course. So in that video, I promote that course, and to this day, I posted over 2 or 3 years ago. I'm still the very first video that you'll see, and people are still trying to figure out how to make money with selling dog treats. They click on that. I inspire them and I tell them about this course. So if they want to move forward and learn from her, they click on the link and then make a purchase, and I earn a commission. And that's how I get it where it's working for me now. Like I do a video once, very intentionally, trying to get in the search results. So YouTube is a search engine. People go to YouTube to search for stuff. So if you can do that way, that's why I say anyone can do this. You don't have to be an influencer. You just have to find the answers people are looking for and share it. They don't care about your background. They don't care how you look. They just want the answer. I did a video. It was horrible audio, and I just wanted to get it out there anyway. I couldn't find my mic issue anyway. Over 200,000 people watched that video. So what if I cared so much about like the editing and the audio? Like I learned so much from that video that people just want the information. They don't care about yeah, I got comments about your audio's bad, but not everybody said that. So I was able to make money. I made $7,000 off that video just from ads. So it's just kind of like, people just want the information. And when I learned that, that changed the game for me.
What do you know that someone starting out might not know? Because you're making it sound easy, and obviously it's not. Um, and there's like a trillion, influencers trying to do the same thing, and there's like 10 million people trying to sell courses teaching you to do the same thing. It seems super oversaturated. I definitely have dabbled in affiliate marketing stuff, but I definitely get some money thrown at me here and there, and I have a pretty good following. But I definitely am not making numbers like you, so I definitely don't know a lot of what you do. And if you were closer, I'd take you out for coffee. But uh, for someone like me or someone that's even just starting out,
Yeah.
what are you doing that someone else is not doing? Whether it's like, catching them in the first couple seconds of the video, whether it's the
Yeah.
title, like throw some
It's
practical.
a package deal, kinda
Mm.
like. So the first thing is, like, what do people wanna know or search for? It's really where it's usually I start with what are they searching for? Because if I can get stuck when people are searching for certain things and get my video in there, then I wanna do that. So I do videos of, like, stay-at-home mom jobs because I found out, like another thing, this is a little hack. YouTube has this auto suggest thing. So when you start searching for something in the search results, they're not trying to answer your question before you even answer it, before you finish your question. And the only reason they can do that is based off of other people's past searches. So they look at the data. It's all data driven. They're looking at, oh, all these people were searching for stay at home mom, jobs, routine, all these things. So if you just put in stay at home mom, they're going to give you all these other things that stay at home moms put in there. So when I saw that, one of the things was jobs. So I did a video on stay-at-home mom jobs. They're clearly searching for it.
Mhm.
To this day, it's my video's gonna be the first one you show up that says stay-at-home mom jobs. So what I'm saying is it's like the one thing that makes me different is that I just do the research. Anybody can do what I do. It's just taking the time to look through, look at my competition. Do I have a chance to do better than that video that's currently at the top of the search results? I gotta do better than them. They're my competition. How can I do a better thumbnail, a better title, a better 30 seconds? You gotta get their attention, get them to want to watch. If I can do those things, then I can get up there.
Mm. And how important is it to be on every platform? If someone's listening and they're like, I just don't have time, I've got X amount of kids, I've got a job, I don't have time to be on every single platform. Does that matter?
No, just do YouTube. I'm trying to get into other social media platforms, which I do not like social media, by the way, but I just like to diversify. Like, I know YouTube's not going anywhere, but I've been burned by Google and I've been burned by Pinterest. So I just don't like having one source of traffic. So I'm trying now that I got this thing on a little bit of autopilot to just kind of get more visibility on the other platforms. But I've been doing this for the last 4 years, and that's all I need to do is be on YouTube. So that's why starting out, I always say master one thing first and then move on to something else. Like keep what you got going on working, but don't just stay stuck. So I definitely think YouTube is enough. Like you don't have to do any other platform to try and promote yourself.
Mm. I'm gonna ask you a selfish question. You ready?
Yeah.
So one of the many things that I do is I'm an artist, and I've been putting out content of my art. So results. So a couple couple weeks back, you ready for this one? I saw this really like dope like optical illusion type thing, which it caught my attention. I was like, this is really sick. I'm gonna share it. I share it on TikTok, and as of yesterday, I had like 6 million something views, like out of nowhere. Before that, I was like 500, 600, 1,000, 10,000 views at most. And all of a sudden, it's like, what the hell? What would your practical advice be for something like, having this weird moment?
Oh, so how to like monetize that or how to
I'm thinking
capitalize
like,
on it?
how do I use that to my advantage? It's a selfish question, I admit it. But I
No,
got a
100%.
weird video that just like caught fire and I'm like, I don't know. What am I supposed to do with that?
Oh, I would repost it again. Like, one thing I found on TikTok is it's like, you post something that goes viral, it went for a viral for a reason. If you can do anything to, like, maybe even tweak it or just add something different, do it again.
Yeah.
Like, it's like they say success leaves clues, so follow them. Like, if that worked, do it again. Like, literally, it could be that I see so many times on TikTok, for example, like, a post that did well for somebody, and then I see it again, like, a couple posts later, the same one. And they do that on Instagram too. They're like, "If it worked, do it again." But the thing is also too, is that driving followers? Is it making you any money, or is it just a cool thing that people will just, like, say, "Oh, cool," like, and pass through?
So far, I've gotten more followers, like twice as many followers, but it hasn't gotten a lot of engagement with my other content. And I guess I can ask this on behalf of other creatives listening, or my musician friends, my artist friends, my writer friends, people like us in that category, right? Um, have like this childhood dream, this passion that we've all been following. I have a million musician, artist, writer, dancer friends, and it's like, you feel driven spiritually or divinely pushed towards this thing. And on the one hand, it's like I don't want to let go of that. And I know a lot of people, other people feel the same. And I've had so many great opportunities, but then I listen to you and I'm like, maybe I should just start selling dog treats instead, you know? See,
I know one thing I think about
yeah.
people with actual gifts, what I would do is if I were you, I would capitalize on the trends. Like, whether it's music, I would do covers, if I to get myself out there. If I was on an artist or I would do it, use show my artistry through and then you have some trending music on there to get it out there more. Like you have a gift, but unfortunately, you have to understand marketing to get it out there more. And a lot sometimes people don't understand that part, but just I see people with are artists and they're just showing you how they do this stuff, and you can just like look at them and see how they're doing it, and then you're engaged. But you gotta, show the process too. I think people are really interested in the process of it all. But
Mm.
I think taking advantage of trends is something that you could definitely take advantage of. Just get more visibility about what you do.
So you help a lot of people, Whitney. What are some of the top things that come to mind if I ask you, what are the common struggles, questions,
Oh,
things that
so
what are the top 3, let's say, people are always throwing at you? You're like, "Oh my god, here we go again." Like,
yeah.
what are those things?
I wanna start a business, but I don't know what to do. I don't know how to get started. I don't have any money to get
Okay.
started.
Those are pretty
So those
common.
are what'd you say?
Those are common ones for sure.
Yeah, so you want me to go answer them?
Yeah, but give people a taste so they can come to your channel afterwards to find it.
Sure. So my biggest thing when it comes like I want to start a business, but I don't know what to do. I literally just want you to do exactly what I did. And that's just like look for other successful people. So that's why I created when I was talking about the product that I have, it's like a $27 product where I interview 6 to 7 figure business owners and just literally ask them all the questions like what do you do? How did you do it? How did you get started? How do you market it? And I just compiled all of this stuff together and just for people. So because that's the number one question I get. I'm like, okay, well, actually look at what's working, see how they did it, and then follow them. Like I was telling you earlier, success leaves clues, so follow them. So don't just try and reinvent the wheel. Every time I try to do something on my own without any guidance, it has failed miserably. Yes, you want to be creative and use your own thoughts, but my has not worked for me. So that's why I'm just saying, let me just what's worked for me is actually following someone who's had a successful business model and making it my own and then executing. And then for someone who says they don't have any money, I was definitely the same way. I was still working 9 to 5, but I was very frugal. I'm like, "I'm not spending any money on any courses on how to do this stuff." So I just did use the free resources. I built a website and I had no idea what I was doing because I couldn't afford for someone else to do it. I went to Google and YouTube and I did was in Facebook groups. I was just taking advantage of every free resource out there. We are so advantaged or privileged to be at a time where like it's at our fingertips, the information we need. So there's nothing you don't need you have everything you need to get started. That's what I wanna say. I can't remember what I said was,
Not knowing what to do, not having enough money. What was the other one?
or how to get started.
Yeah.
The same thing as how to get started is literally just find someone who's doing what you wanna do and literally study them. When I say study them, just go to their YouTube pages, their Instagrams, and you literally can just look at the views. Which one's got a lot of views? And that must mean, oh, people must resonate with that type of stuff. So
Mm.
then ask yourself, can I do something like that? If so, write it down and ask yourself, how can I make mine different? Make it my own. So you are using a proven business model on what works, and then you're making it your own, and then you're just being consistent. That's the next thing. Just start putting stuff out there, learning and growing. So those are the things that I would say for someone who wants to get started. And then, oh, another thing is I don't have the time. People, I love this because
Oh
I'm like,
my
you
god.
have the
That drives
time.
me nuts, that one.
Yeah. You know all the Netflix, you done binge
Yeah.
all the new shows. People, I'm just like,
I know all the sports stats. They've seen every show on,
yeah.
Blue.
Every sports stat. I mean, I just did so like I'm like,
God,
but
yeah.
that's why I say you don't want it bad enough. If you wanted it bad enough, you did eliminate it all. But you want that other stuff more right now. And that's okay. You just don't want it enough.
We are teaching our kids, and have been for a long time, teaching them about investing, teaching them about business,
Oh, I love that.
teaching them about real estate. They have their own stocks through like an app that we have for them. And one of the books we're reading with them now is Rich Dad Poor Dad, which is I
Yeah.
feel like a must read. And I was explaining them to the lesson, which goes back to what you literally just said. There's a part in the book where his poor dad spends all this time looking for coupons for the grocery store and like cutting out things to save 50 cents here and there. And then his rich dad spends the exact same amount of time looking for deals, looking for things to invest in. So people that have no time, it's like such BS, It's like just stop doing the BS stuff, stop sitting on the couch scrolling, stop, doing all these other dumb things. And I feel like it's the same for fitness. People that have no time for fitness, it's like
Yeah.
you magically have time for everything else.
Yep.
I
Just don't want it.
Yeah, you don't want it.
Yeah.
One of the things you were talking about, one of your videos that I had seen over the past week or so was talking, and you mentioned it in this interview as well, is just kind of figuring it out. I think that's an important lesson of resilience that every parent should give their child, but every person should give themselves also.
Yeah.
And I think part of the fun aspect of
Yeah.
being an entrepreneur is problem solving and just being resilient and knowing that you can just figure it out. It's the same for sales. It's the same for parenting. It's the same for sports. Okay, you don't know how to do this thing. Figure it out. Spend an afternoon. Like you said, we live in such a weird time where like everything is at our fingertips. Like
Yeah.
when I was a kid, it wasn't like that.
Mm-mm.
So there's no excuses anymore. If it's
No
fitness, if
excuses.
it's
Yeah.
entrepreneurship, if it's learning how to shoot a better basketball, whatever it is, there's something out there.
Yeah. I love that. That's so true. I mean, there's no excuses. That's it. That's the name of the game. Just do it.
Yeah, so we talked
Right.
about so far we talked about affiliate marketing.
Yeah.
Like you said, people could just jump on Amazon. It's so quick, it's so easy. You could set up an Amazon shopping page. That's one way. YouTube videos you talked about a little bit. You didn't mention about ads yet. I know you have like
Yeah.
talk about being an author. What other kinds of sources of income might people want to dabble in?
Yeah, I like ads because it's just to me a bonus. So, like for those who don't know, you need to have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time within a year to get eligible to get monetized, which is basically having ads in your videos. So I make like $5,000 a month right now for the last couple long for a long time
Oh yeah.
on YouTube, and it's just like passive. I'm just like, I'll take that. Like that's all I need. I don't even need a lot, but it's more than with affiliate marketing. So, um, the YouTube ad is great, and sponsorships, I do those too, but I do those very sparingly because I'm really big about my, like, integrity,
Mhm.
my reputation, and if it's a brand that like, look at the reviews and I don't they're not good, I'm not gonna promote anything that's not good on my channel. So, I'm really big and particular about what I promote, and if I don't really believe in it, I don't want people using my link to get it started and it doesn't work out and they blame me. So, I know I've lost a lot of money because I have integrity,
Mm.
but I'm okay with that. I feel like because I'm trying to only promote things that I really believe that are actually true. That's why I've done so well.
Mhm.
Even though I said I made more, I think long term. I always think in long term. So I think that's you just have to definitely have integrity because the money's gonna look good, but it's not gonna last you. So yeah, that's another point that I just wanted to make too.
Yeah, no, I love that. I know for me, one of my biggest transformational pivots, I guess, or things that instigated me to change, I should say, certain books, certain people's content, podcasts. There's certain things that I could point to that I got this from this, I got that from that. What are some of the biggest mind shifts that you experienced, whether it was a book, an author, a speaker, a lecture you went to, something? What are the things that really was like, whoa, I didn't think about this like that before, but now I do.
Um, oh, good question. I need time to think on that one.
Yeah, whether we're like,
Like
is there a
big,
book you read? Was there something like or something you read and you're like, "Oh my god," I think like for me it was like Rich Dad Poor Dad completely changed me. The book The Secret completely changed me. Re-
oh yeah, the secret,
oh,
yeah.
things like that. Tony Robbins completely changed me. There's some certain books like reading Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus completely changed me. There's some things that just completely changed how I thought about stuff.
Well, yeah, I'll say I'll it's a conference I went to. It's called A Path to Prosperity, and that changed me and just understanding that, like, people are making a lot of money out here, and just the poverty mindset, I think that really just, it gave me a new perspective, and just being around people that were, having all the same mindset, it just really changed me to be like it made me wanna be more and do more, and that's when I learned the power of proximity and just knowing that who you surround yourself around is so important because I'm, like, the main entrepreneur in my circle here at home, and I didn't know anybody. I just was comfortable. I got comfortable. I'm like, "I'm good. I'm doing really well, making good money." So I just I didn't need to grow. I didn't think so. But then when I get around people who are making, like, buku money and, like, they're doing, like, $1,000,000 in a day, I'm like, "I haven't even scratched the surface." Like, I'm just a little person now. So I just think getting around people that are doing better than you, and you should not be the smartest person in the room, and all those people, they talk like that, but that's actually really true, and it just makes you wanna be better and do better, so I think just surrounding yourself around other people that are doing better is what you need to do for your own self-growth.
I don't know who came up with this first, but it's so true. We've all heard it. Like you're the average of the five people you
Oh, yeah.
lose. That's
Oh my
it's so true, and I feel like I echo what you just said because most successful people I know, whatever field they're in, generally want other people around them to be successful also, and
Mhm.
I don't think people realize that so much.
It's so true.
People will be like, "Oh, my friend so and so makes so much money, lucky him." But you know what? If you talk to that friend of yours, most likely they would be willing to give you advice. They want you to be where they are. They want you to do better. And networking, even like just chatting like this, like we are. Like if there's some
Yeah,
if 6 months from now I see or hear something that somehow relates to you, I'm gonna be hitting you up, and that's how it
yeah,
work. You create a network, you meet people, you're like, "Oh my god, you're doing this too." Like, you immediately share a connection. Like, you struggle like I do, you're doing like I'm doing, and there's something there that's people don't realize the strength of that networking, community.
exactly. Yeah, I'm 100%, I'm all in because I feel like that could be a clip right there what you just said, that's so good, I need to clip that from my own self. That's so true.
It's interesting. Um, oh my gosh, what was I gonna ask you? So, what was the breaking point for you? I know you said you had a real job, 9 to 5
Yeah,
type thing. I think it was marketing, if I remember
yeah.
reading. Was there a moment where you're like, I'm so peacing out of here, like, get me out of this place? Like, what was
Yeah.
the thing for you?
So it was when I got pregnant with my daughter, my second child. So my son was, my mother-in-law, my aunt would keep him. So I'm like, okay, he's in good hands. Like they're a better mother than I am. So I knew my son was in good hands. But then they're older. So I knew giving them two little ones was not gonna be a case. And just for me and my husband, we just didn't want to choose daycare, nothing against it. I just
Oh.
wanted to be the one at least home with my kids. So that is when I knew I had no other choice, like, okay, I have no one to watch my kids, and I w so I that was it. So I said by the time I have my daughter, I gotta quit my job. So that was my timeline I gave myself. I didn't have any other options in my mind. And I think that's actually I set myself up for success having no other option.
Mm.
So by having no other option, I had to figure it out, and I had to figure it out by the time I had my daughter. So that's when the blog came out, and I had no plan B. It was plan A, and I went all in, and I think that's the reason for my success.
My wife just got me the new Insta360 X4, and I'm hooked. I just took it on a snowboarding trip with my family, and the footage is insane. It's like a drone was following us. And the selfie stick, yeah, it's invisible. Total game changer. And right now they're having a big sale and even offering free gifts with a purchase. You can check out my affiliate link. It costs nothing to you, but it does help me out if you make a purchase. Check out jalders.com/x4 for the latest offers or visit insta360.com and use my code INRR6JU. That's code INRR6JU. I'll have it down in the show notes too.
I'm sitting here like nodding as loud as I can because hell yeah. I remember I've had several moments like that, but one of them is after I left college. You know, you or I think, okay, it's time to enter the workforce and be a good citizen and get a real job.
Yeah.
And it took me months and months and months, and I finally got a job, and it was like crappy pay. And I lived in Jersey, so I was working right near the George Washington Bridge, and like, it was like a commute. And I remember after about it was my only real job I ever had, and after about 2 months or so, I was like, "I haven't seen the sunset. I haven't seen the sun rise. I haven't had any time with my friends." And I remember, like, looking at other commuters, like, whether it was the train or the bus or, like, just driving by them, and people with, like, blank faces like zombies.
Zombies,
And
yeah.
it's like, the Christmas of, like or the, Ghost of Christmas Future, where you're like, "Oh my god, if I don't escape right this second, I'm gonna turn into one of those people." And, like, that's one of my sticks we were talking about before.
Oh,
That's,
I
"Oh,
love
man,
that.
my god, I don't wanna be one of those people." And I remember then literally the next day, I walked in and I told my boss, I'm like, "I quit." And he's like,
Oh my gosh, so you weren't even like you had no plan B at the time.
no, I tell people I knit the parachute on the way down. I just knew that I was not about that. I didn't I that had nothing to do with the kind of future or the kind of life that I wanted. And there was nothing
Oh my
in
god.
that, and so that was the only time I ever worked for anyone else was that time.
Wow, congratulations.
There was
Took me longer, but
it
yeah.
good and bad, there's times when I look back and I'm like, that was really dumb because there was a lot of my friends were, like, surpassing me and still do with income, but the amount of travel that I've done, the time with my children is
Yeah,
like,
you
I
can't
I
get
am I'm
back.
with my children all the time, and the amount with that we travel and the flexibility in my schedule, like, this morning, I, like, went for a swim, and I had time to do this, and I had time to do that, and, like, I'm doing awesome conversation with you right now, and my kids will be home in an hour, and, like, I could do whatever I want. And I still have to work. I'll probably be working at like 6 o'clock tonight, but it's on my time. And it's
Right.
like the Goonies, like this is our time.
I love that. Yes, that's so true, like, that's one thing that I love so much about entrepreneurship, and I feel like it's like I can't get it enough in people's heads how great this is. And it's because 'cause they're still like, "N well, that's nice for you." And that's one thing I always thought about, like, when I see people like me now, which is kinda cringy, but being like you would see these people like, "You should start a business," and all like, I'm okay. Because I always said, "I'm never going to be an entrepreneur," because I said, "That's too much work. I'd rather have just a steady paycheck." Like, I really believe that until, it didn't work out anymore. Like, I needed the flexibility to be able to raise my kids, and a typical 9 to 5 does not allow that. So, I just thank God for my circumstance getting me out of that because I was so blinded, and that's what I know a lot of people are just blinded. They don't see the possibilities
Yeah.
or know what's capable. So, that's kinda the sad part about it all.
I think being honest, there's days when it's amazing and there's days when it totally sucks. To be
Oh,
honest,
100%.
for me
It's
at least.
it's like the cr I think it's like almost a bipolar thing though.
Oh
It's
yeah.
like one day today I'm feeling good, a video's going viral, like nothing can
Right? You're
stagnate,
like,
I know
what?
so much, and then I post another video, I'm like, "Do I know anything?" This
Yeah.
video didn't even do that good, so it's just kinda like on this it's so up and down, but but I'm saying I still would not that want that life. So that's why I say it's still better than
Yes.
that.
Have you read Elizabeth Gilbert's book, Big Magic?
No.
Oh, you gotta read it. It's amazing.
Okay.
You would love it. I could tell from your personality you would love it, but she talks about in that book, it's about the creative journey, and, one of the parts of the book she talks about, everyone has their version of a shit sandwich, it's like, your version of a shit sandwich is, like, dealing with the
Oh, yeah. That's so
the
true.
boss, my version of a shit sandwich is, like, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. Everyone's got their own you have to pick what sucks, and you have to pick what you're cool with, and then, there's a line in the sand of, like, "Alright, I'm cool with this kinda garbage, I'm not cool with that kinda garbage."
Yeah. Ugh, yeah, entrepreneurship is something else, but I don't know, it's just a weird thing that's like, even though it's something else, like, I wouldn't want anything else. And I like it more than anything because it challenges me, like, I am such a better person because of this. I would like, I don't know, I'm sorry, I don't wanna go on a tangent, but
Love
I
it,
could just be
tangents.
somewhere else, like, just thinking how I was a robot in my 9 to 5. I would just get up, go to work, cook dinner, can't wait for the weekend. You get 1 day Saturday, and then we're at church on Sunday all day pretty much, and then it's just like so it's just I don't know, I just thinking back, like, my life was such a well, it's such a I was so robotic,
Mhm.
and now I'm literally I can't like, sometimes it, like, freaks me out that I could just leave and go to a coffee shop, like,
Right.
sometimes I'm still stuck a little bit, like, I feel like I should need to be in my office working, but no, I can go anywhere, but I just it's like a slave mentality, like, I still have to break free from this stuff.
It is so true, there's the entrepreneurial guilt is very real. I was telling my wife the other day, we had, like, a kind of a lazy day the other day. We were in Costa Rica 2 weeks ago, and I got back,
Oh, nice.
like, a few days ago. I got nothing done. It was one of those days where you were busy all day long, and I'm like, "I don't know what I did." I'm like, I told her I should have just taken the day off and just given into her
Right, that
rent.
is it.
I should have done stuff around the house, but instead, it's like it was one of those days where you're like, "What can I do over here? Oh, I'll figure out something," and it's like, but you're like, "No, I feel guilty. I have to be productive. I have to
I
prove."
know, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to say how productive I am. Whitney, what I wanna ask you about is since you spend so much of your time and so much of your energy and all your income comes from being online, being on YouTube, and kind of feeding into the algorithm and all that, how do you reconcile that with your own children, with them not being like, I assume that you don't want them staring at their phone all day long. I assume
Oh,
there's
yeah, yeah.
balance. How do you reconcile that where it's like, well, mommy's staring at her phones and screens all day long, and I'm making money doing this, and I'm paying attention to what everyone's doing online so that I can give them more of what they don't need or whatever.
Exactly,
How
yeah.
do you reconcile that?
Yeah, like so my kids, like, my son, for example, like, I just made this new rule where he can only play video games on a Tuesday, not no more during the week other than just that day.
Fortnite? What's the poison over there? Is it Fortnite? Is it like,
Oh, it's Fortnite. Oh,
that's my
I
kids.
can't take it. Oh my god.
Fortnite and NBA 2K is, like, all that's going on in my house.
Oh, yeah, so, yeah,
Only, like, here and there. It's like on the weekend, you can play for an hour or 2 and, like, "All right, we're cooking dinner. All right, go play for a half hour," but that's it.
yeah. I just had to set boundaries because my son would be there on it all day screaming on the little mics or whatever. But, yeah, it's like, so at the dinner table, can't have any phones, you cannot be watching TV all day, you just cannot like, my daughter's not feeling well, so that she gets a pass. But, like, throughout the day and then I try and myself, like, I have mom guilt if I'm on my phone all day and with them around, so I'm like, "Okay, I gotta get off and, like, be a mom and be present." So, that's why I just try and do as much where I'm so, like, intentional when I have time to work, my kids are at school, I am nothing, like, no time for play. I don't have time for phone calls. I'm very disciplined when it comes to that because I already have the mom guilt anyway. When they get home, I don't wanna be working more, even though I do sometimes. I do work sometimes when they come home if I'm working on a project, but I do also, like I'm very intentional, like, if someone calls me at when the kids come home, I don't answer, like, I just need they have to have a little it's like, "Mom, I have to be there." So,
Mhm.
I don't know, it's just, like, trying to be disciplined and still, like, I'm not the mom, though, like, my kids will still watch TV, but they just cannot just sit there all day and watch it, though. I'm still that mom too, like, "Oh, okay, that's enough. Go play find something to play with. I don't care what it is, but not TV or the iPad or the phone," all that stuff, yeah. Can't do that.
So my wife and I, we have 3 companies right now, and we also have, like, real estate and,
Oh,
investment
wow.
in which we have it's always wearing a different hat, a person that knows us from one thing don't realize we do the other thing, and
Yeah.
versa. And I think that's what's cool about doing that for us at least is there's so many lessons that are kind of applicable in different areas. Like if I'm working in one area of my business, it's so cool and interesting to find the patterns and the lessons that can be applied to something else. And
Yeah.
in that I want to ask you for people listening that maybe they don't want to be a YouTube star, they don't want to do affiliate marketing, maybe they want to open a franchise, maybe they want to do a haircutting business. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
How could you speak to them using your knowledge and your experience in doing what you do? How do those apply to people listening that maybe want to do something more brick and mortar or more, something else? Talk to those.
Yeah, no, great question. I love this question. I still say the same thing. Study what works. Like I remember I was listening to this guy who had wanted to buy a laundry mat. So he literally just stayed outside one day and watched how many people would go in every to see how much money were they making, to see if he should do one too. So it's just kind of like study what works, make it your own, and do it. Just execute. So this applies to literally anything. Don't just start a barbershop. Learn from actual barbershops who are doing today. How do you get clients? How did you get started? Like people are willing to share this information, especially if they're in another state, another city, knowing that you're not going to be in competition. Like they have nothing but wanting to. It brings purpose to us being able to help other people.
Mm.
So I feel like I just wanna say just study what works, make it your own, and execute. This works for every single business model out there.
I love that. Tell me, so now that you're doing well for yourself, you're like laying in bed with like piles of money doing snow angels, right?
Of
So
course, yeah.
what are you doing outside of all this? Where like tell me the bigger version of Whitney's empire. Take us
Yeah.
5, 10 years
Yep.
on the road. Are you making other investments? Are you opening a franchise? Are you buying real estate? Are you doing stocks? Where are you plopping all your money?
I definitely wanna get into real estate just because it's the age-old thing that just, it's like the next natural step as far as passive income or semi-passive. But real estate is something that we definitely wanna get into. We've even done the be your own bank thing with the insurance policy where you kinda buy a lump sum to be your own bank and borrow against yourself. So we have that, but we're just looking for, like, a property now to actually invest it. So now we're, like, prepared. Now it's just finding the investment property. So I wanna do that. I wanna do, like, I just now that I know I just talked to a guy the other day, and I just since I know YouTube so well, he was telling me how he actually takes the equity out of people's companies that don't know how to do the YouTube thing, and he does it for them. And I'm like, "Man, that's a whole 'nother realm," where he was like he took a 25% out of this guy's education business for who now teaches stocks, and he just made $2 million like the guy did. So he's just getting a percentage out of that, out of just doing some stuff that he did like a while ago. And I'm like, what? I'm in the wrong business model right now. I need to get an equity out of these companies. So he's like, yeah, I just find older people who have no desire to get into YouTube, but it could actually help their business. And then I work with them and say, "I'll do that side for you then, and I'll just get commission a percentage of equity." And I'm like, "Wow, that's a really smart angle." So I feel like after I get done, like, teaching people and getting that on autopilot, I wanna, like, just go ahead and just do what I know because I enjoy this stuff. Enjoy that part, me not being on camera, but I enjoy the idea of just knowing how to title, do thumbnails to get their attention, and I feel like if I can help people make money and me make money, or I'm like, that's where I would love to be.
Mm. I remember you talking about one of your videos about how you started as a VA, as a virtual assistant.
Yeah.
Are you currently leveraging your own tasks? Do you have a team of people helping you with what you're doing, and how so?
Yes, so I have, 2 assistants, PR the PR agency that you saw, Cassie, she's part of that PR agency,
What's up, Cassie?
and yeah, thanks, Cass, and, a social media, manager to also help me, like since I'm trying to get into social media, which is, like that's a whole whole 'nother thing, um yeah, so I have someone helping me there, and then I have an assistant, and then the PR agency to help me get on more podcasts because I know, like, visibility is the one thing that holds a lot of people back, and I don't wanna just be stuck just to YouTube, though. I wanna get my message out to more people because I feel like I just want people to know, like, anybody can do this, and, like, so when my social media manager asked me, like, "What do you want people to know?" And I just want them to know it's another way, it's a better way. So that's my main message is to say, like, 'cause I didn't know anyone like me that could do this, and I just wanna be like, "You guys say anybody can do this." So
If you wake up tomorrow and you have, you hit the lottery or something happens where you're like, I don't need any of this for the money anymore. What does that version of your life look like? Where are you? Are there dreams? Are there talents? Are there passions? Are there trips you want to take? Like, what is a version of you look like where that you don't no longer need to do this for money?
That's a great question because, I don't really care for traveling like that. I'll travel, like, once or twice a year. Yeah, I'm just I'm a homebody. So, like, I'm good just getting a all the one things I care about is just getting a cup of coffee. Like, I that's what I care more about that. It's like,
Okay.
I'm a one cupper, so after I get done with that cup, I'm just like, I look forward to the next day so I can do it all over again. I am, like, the most simplest girl in the world. Like, I love Jesus. If I could tell more people about Jesus, I would love to do that. So, that's one thing I'm passionate about too, but I just the business side is, it takes a lot of time too, but in my videos too, some of my videos, I talk about him there. But if so that's one thing I could do is just spread the he changed my life. I want him to other people to know, what he could do for them. So that's the other thing that if I could do nothing but just do that and my husband's a pastor. I didn't tell
There
that.
you go. That works out well.
Yeah, so if I could just do that and focus on that, and it's growing so great, like, God is so good, so if I could just do that, that would be great, but I still love building, so I feel like this part, I just wouldn't wanna give it up. Like, I used to so I had a couple people, approach me to, buy my blog, which I should have done it had I known it was gonna crash and burn, but, it was my baby. I'm like, "Why would I sell it? It's gonna make me a lot of money." But, why am I even saying this? I'm trying to say, just lost my train of thought.
Talking about your
Oh.
husband, you're talking about yeah.
The part is that I like enjoy building something, so something from nothing. So that's the part I just get a little high off of. So, like, my YouTube videos and when one goes really well, I'm just like I get, like, a high off of it, like, "Oh my gosh, this is so great." Like, I did this video and I'm still making money, like, I get, like, a high off of that. So it's just like I wanna do more of that because I'm like it's just like now become easy. So, I would miss that. I would definitely miss this if I had to give it up. So that's why I don't think I would give it up.
Do you, like, lie in bed at night with your husband and be like, what's his name?
Brian.
Brian. Are you like, "Brian, you should really start a pastor YouTube channel and blow this up," like
I told him about that, but since he's not like, "Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah," then I'm like, I am not gonna be pressing it. But I was just telling him that the other day. I'm like, "We're missing out on money. Like, you're preaching anyway. Why don't we just because it's on YouTube, but it's not the way it should be if you wanna get a lot of views."
Mm.
So, I was just telling him about that the other day, but yeah, maybe I will go that route.
Yeah, you could have, like, a whole pastor's wife type YouTube channel. Uh,
Oh, no, no, that's cringe. I don't wanna be like that. I don't wanna be like I don't know. I don't wanna be religious in this set, but, like, I don't know. I don't know. That's a good question, but I do love Jesus. I just want people to know, like, from a everyday girl kinda thing. I don't wanna be a pastor's wife kinda thing. Like, I don't like the titles and stuff like that. I'm just like an everyday person that just got their life changed, so that's kinda how I wanna do it, yeah.
I love that. Before we go, I would love to know if there's anything that you're, coming out with that people should know about, if you have anything to promote, how people can find you, those kind of things?
Yeah, so you can find me on my YouTube channel, just youtube.com/Whitney Bonds. And I do have a boot camp coming out April 1st because I talk about this stuff all the time. And like I have all this free information out there, but it's just scattered. So I'd ask my subscribers, I'm like, do you guys want me to do a boot camp and just like show you a 4-week boot camp, how to get started, get SEO, get video out, and learn how to monetize it? And they say, yeah. So I was like, okay. So I just put it together and it starts April 1st and it's a 4-week boot camp. And each week, everything is going to be lots because I always feel like too much information is information overload and you do absolutely nothing with it. So
Mhm.
you're going to get only a certain amount of information for the first week. You're going to do your task then, and then each week we're progressing even more to get you your video out and monetized. So
Cool.
it's going to be a cool thing.
You know what I wanted to ask you, which I don't know if this applies to you or not, but have you gotten into the whole, like, Amazon drop shipping stuff, like that kind of physical product world? Is that something you're
Yes. Oh, I have a whole story about that. That's a whole nother
Oh, for
podcast.
real? Okay.
I paid $50,000 for these guys to do who are you telling? To do a whole done for you service where they would set it all up, they would do everything for us, do the ads, and he had the this guy had the proof of showing, like, what he did this for other people. This guy, like, completely scammed us, and he's gone, like, I have a whole shop now that I don't have the time to run, and so I'm, like, literally just paying for, like, 100 something dollars a month now at this point for a shop that's not even doing anything.
Okay.
So I have a lot of lessons learned that we can that's a whole other thing, but yeah. So e-commerce is a thing. It works if you work it,
Mhm.
you know. And if you put the time into it, we've made like $6,000 from it. But that's not 50,000. So I didn't recoup. I got a huge loss for my taxes on it.
There you go.
But yeah. Oh yeah.
Awesome.
So yeah.
Whitney, I appreciate you. This was really fun. It was cool. I think you gave people a little taste of what's possible, which is sometimes all we need is just to know that something's possible. I think that you've done that well. And I think your videos are fun to watch and informative. And I love how vulnerable and transparent you are. I feel like there's so many influencers that I've come across that just seem a little bit phony and kind of sales card like, sales car. What's the word? Car salesman. There you go. That's the word I was
Oh,
trying.
car sales.
People that are just like got like, trying to sell you stuff all the time and slimy,
Yeah.
seem like the opposite of that. So I really appreciate, how real and genuine you are.
No, I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Whitney. I really hope that you enjoyed that episode. If you did, please take a moment, leave me a review on Spotify and Apple especially. It takes about only 30 to 40 seconds to leave a nice review. You can just click on the stars, you can say something nice. I really do read them all, and it really does mean a lot to me if you could just please do that. And also make sure you hit subscribe and share the episode, connect with me online, connect with our guests. We love all the interaction, so please do so. Also, please check out my website, jalders.com. I am an artist, I'm a father, I'm a family man. I appreciate your support. I would love to get your eyeballs on my artwork. So, yes, keep sending messages. Let me know who you'd like to see on the show next, and I wish you an awesome rest of your day.